Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We do have some Europeans watching for sure. Today we have a first round bracket race of the Link to the Past tournament. Today we have audraxys versus Brogor playing open hard. My name is Tracy M. With me today is Dr. Bob Tastic. How you doing, Dr. Bob?
Yo, I'm here. I'm breathing. It's not too early for me. We're doing just fine. Everything is great, and we're gonna do the thing.
The Thing. And the Thing is playing Link to the Past. Now, some of you probably haven't heard the name audraxys before, but you should be very familiar with the runner audraxys, formerly known as Ashdar. Had a recent name switch, and here we are. Going to see these two play. Audraxys finishing number 1 in their group, which was Group H, and is the 27th seed. Brogor finishing number 2 in his group, Group A, and is the 38th seed.
Yep. The great thing about these seeds is, at least in the first round, is if you know one of the seeds, you can know the other. It's just you subtract 65 from it.
Yep, first round's easy. And we get
All right.
immediate divergence, a glove for Brogor, and some errors for Audra in Link's house. A little bit of a shame that we don't have any bombs to immediately do back of escape, but that'll come later.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do the that's crystal number 5 over at Hera. Normal crystals at the other dungeons here in the Light World. You could do a thing where you go check the old man real quick if you're just like super into getting that taken care of real quick.
Yeah, not a fan of doing that both in the dark without literally any weapons or anything to see off of. So,
Who needs to be
either
able
runner
to see
for
in
doing
that
that?
game? I'm messing with you.
I mean, there are runners that would do weird things like that. So, you know,
At least one person in chat is on board with the plan. Just go mountain.
Yeah, I mean, if this were like a sword start, then, you know, oh my god, the bush crab dropping fairies doesn't really do anything for us, because when are you going to have bush crabs when you actually might need that fairy?
But yeah, free bombs from the tree pull, just a red rupee in the lumberjack, as we see a sword at the mushroom location.
Hey, now we can turn around and go up the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think anyone's doing that.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if Brogor does it here. Like, he's going over to check the lumberjack. Maybe just goes right down, takes care of that, and then he has the save and quit point for later.
And of course, let's talk a little about open hard. So we're going to be stuck on green mail. We don't have progressive bows. No half magic, only one bottle. I honestly think the magic situation is the hardest part of hard mode. Green mail, of course, is kind of a nasty thing as well. We're going to be capped at Tempered Sword. We could still get 20 hearts, but that would imply grabbing all 48 heart pieces that are going to be around the world, so that's not happening. Because we have lots of heart pieces. This is the heart piece mode. Rick likes to call it all the quarters, because all the pieces are quarter hearts. Jesse's called it open heart surgery. It's open, it's got lots of hearts, and heart kind of rhymes with hard.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we are getting that. You were right. Brogor is going to do this very early mountain check.
Yeah, seems like, I mean, it's a play. I'm not saying it's the world's greatest play, but it is in fact a play. And we just did find the Moon Pearl in Blind's Hut there. We get 300 rupees on the old man.
What would be the ideal thing? Probably a bow here would be the ideal find, because then you can do Eastern earlier. Maybe a book for desert? We'll see what he finds here. We have a sword already, so a mirror could make Hera doable.
Oh!
Mitts? Okay. But
Titan's Mitts sitting on top of Spectacle Rock. We do not have the necessary implement to get there.
It might send Brogor back to the mountains sooner, but it might be an extra
mountain
climb
until you find the mirror. You know.
Yeah, but it also might be an extra mountain climb for Brogor, whereas Audra might just get the mirror and just go there and, hey, look, Mitts, I have them already. So I do like the stack of escape
not particularly.
Not a lot in the well.
Good. But Brogor is taking the back of escape now with those bombs.
No money for bottle vendor.
Looks like we may now have a tracker joining us. I've been trying to keep up with the buttons here while
Oh, have
that's
you
been
been
going
doing
on.
that? Yeah. Tracking and calling is hard. I've done it for Super Metroid, and it's hard there, and Super Metroid has a lot less to track than this does. So.
Shoot, tracking and playing is hard. You think I
No
didn't
kidding.
rejoice like a crazy person when they started allowing auto tracking?
I hate
Crazy.
auto track. I don't think it should be allowed, but I know some people like it. Okay, can't do sick kid. No money for bottle vendor. So if there's something on bottle vendor, slight advantage to Brogor is going to be able to get that the first try in. I'm not too worried about Audra getting back to it. Is used to not getting the bottle vendor because that's actually a relatively common thing that happens in SMZ3, and of course they play a lot of SMZ3, so
Fair
we'll
enough.
be able to route that back in.
So Brogor just found the flute here at the dam here. So pretty interesting find for Brogor.
Yeah, that's one of those items that if you put off CAC, that's a good one to find.
Mm-hmm.
It does mean that Audra gets back to bottle vendor sooner rather than later because they'll get the flute and just be able to go back there, have reason to activate it.
Fair enough. All right, Brogor into Mini Moldworm Cave. I expect after this to just see a save and quit and go activate that flute. Because if you were going to go over to Ice Rod Cave, you just want a flute to 8.
Yeah, you could do it that way. I could see either way.
All right, so more heart pieces.
Ah,
Mushroom.
We did see an earlier race that Audra was in where the Mini Moldorm Cave had all 5 heart pieces. So for a moment there, I thought we were going to get a repeat of that.
Well, there you go.
Okay, we're going to get Uncle and Escape from Audra.
Okay.
Brogor's going to do Kakariko.
Yep, seems like a play. Oh, there's that mirror.
see now see. Brogor gets a little bit of an advantage in that he'll be able to do Kakariko and activate the flute. We'll be able to do bottle vendor. Audra gets a little bit of advantage. They'll be able to go up the mountain and use that mirror to get those mitts immediately, and we'll even be able to do Tower of Hera if they want.
All right, so Brogor about to pick up that Moon Pearl.
Yeah, not likely that he was going to miss that.
Yeah, that's kind of the main thing you're looking for early on.
Yep.
That and just some way to get to the Dark World.
Yeah, and we do have, collectively, we have Dark World access.
Oh, and it looks like I missed that shield on the tracker while I was running it. But you know what? I don't think anyone really cares.
I mean, the shield, honestly, that's the question. I know the question becomes, like in Key Sandy modes, do you get rid of the shield or do you get rid of the bug net? And, the argument for the shield is, well, you can see the shield on the sprite anyway. Although the argument for keeping the shield there is you can have your shield eaten. But if you pick up 3 shields and the first 2 get eaten, you will still get a mirror shield, and you will still be stuck with the mirror shield, because that's how the game works.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's that red boomerang, yep.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen the... Okay, there's the map. We do have the small key, so there is something in Dark Cross. Powder on the bottle vendor.
Very interesting. Not something we can do something immediately with, but I mean,
and
once
game-changing.
Brogor finds the mirror, that is technically possible.
Yep.
Right? You can go get the mitts,
Yeah.
and then we can have Hammer and Magic Bat.
That's always fun. Audra trying to open the door just before the big key gets boomeranged back there. And yeah, gonna do Dark Cross right now. Not too hard to do this from the front with the sword.
So the mitts are on top of Spectacle Rock. We saw that earlier when Brogor decided to go up there. Wasn't allowed to pick it up on account of not having the mirror, but immediately will be able to do so once that happens. And it'll be in logic because of the flute.
Yeah, I figure Audra's next move is to go do the South Shore checks. We'll get that flute, activate the flute to 1. Brogor's next move is going to be just go straight back to the mountain and get those mitts, I think. Wait, no, doesn't have the mirror yet. Has to go in front of escape first.
Yeah, front of
so
escape.
Brogor could do front of escape or do
like Eastern.
Eastern. Or even just Saha. Like, not everybody goes into Eastern after Saha. It's a fairly common, because it's very quick, relatively quick 3 checks, especially with the flute. Might also clean up some of these one-offs, like he's going to do a Gina for instance. And okay, new check over on Brogor's side. There's that flute.
Audraxys is getting to take care of that block due to mirror situations, and that is a pair of flippers.
Yeah, I mean, if without the flute, I'd be very concerned about that location. Audra has a tendency to check that with a flute. Of course, might get Dark World access before getting there, so that could become a problem. We'll see. Is going to have the ability to do it from Misery Mire area, though. Might just pair that all in together.
All right, Brogor taking care of the mushroom check real quick.
Yeah, and because we already have powder, doesn't have to worry about save scumming or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Not that fake powder comes up that often and is that powerful that often, but when it pays out, it pays out big. Here, it just doesn't matter. We have powder. Yeah, that's right. The mushroom was there. Okay, there's a save and quit from Audra.
Wasn't it Audra that actually made the brackets on the back of a fake powder play that one time? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I don't recall that ever happening. Certainly not recently.
No, it would have been like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I'll have to ask them later, but I don't think so. I do know there's been some.
No. I got them confused.
Wasn't there a Key Sandy race?
I remember who it was.
Where the runner who did the fake powder, it was just like one runner did fake powder and got in. It was like a big Key Sandy race to get one bracket spot or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, and it was a different person.
Okay, I'm trying to remember who that was.
I know who it was, but I don't want to say because I feel embarrassed for getting the two of them confused.
Fair enough. Powder for Audra. First checks for Brogor.
Seems good.
This will be the mushroom for Audra. Now knows does not need to fake powder.
So Brogor is staying away from the bridge for now and just going for the Zora area, which makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of like doing the bridge first, because especially with the flute, because you can just flute from the little solid spot there just back to 8.
Fair enough.
It's not a big difference, though.
But we know Brogor needs to get to the Uncle's Tunnel, the front of escape, pretty quickly, to be honest.
Yeah, Audra's going to get these flippers and could do Zora. Oh, there's a hammer. You know what? That is really interesting, because that... Like, Audra is going to go to the mountain at some point regardless. That hammer actually makes it a good play for them if they choose to do the Zora area first. Because now you don't just get Hera, you get East Death Mountain. Whereas for Brogor is just going to get hammer and be like, oh, hey, that's my Dark World axis. I don't have to think about it. I'm not going to... Yeah, the sad little half magic. Now, on the other hand, if Audra decides to do... the mountain first, and could. Looks like we are going to see at least some flippers checks here.
Yep.
Because like I like this route from Audra because you can check the island. Now you go and you swim over to the old man here, and then you flute to 8 and you do the rest of the checks. And Audra probably not thrilled. Doesn't have anywhere close to Zora money at 27 rupees.
So I'm actually really concerned for Brogor here because, having that hammer and glove.
Yeah, it's going to be
you're going to want to go into the Dark World, and knowing me, if I have Dark World access, I'm avoiding the front of Hyrule Castle.
Oh yeah,
like
no.
until I get there with the mirror. But guess what's in that area?
Yeah, I know. With Brogor's knowledge, I like this choice. Now, this choice, I mean, this could just be for Saha. I think Audra's trying to get Zora money. Wants to get that Zora money. So it's going to be a little bit later to that hammer. Unfortunately, the Zora money is not what matters. The Zora money is for a non-existent half magic.
All right, so Audra headed into Saha's Rala. We'll see 3 things in the back here, and we don't know if we'll see more. I got a very quick map check over there. I'm pretty sure I saw Thieves Town being the other 5-6 crystal. I'm pretty sure I saw a pendant on Turtle Rock, and other than that, I did not see a blank thing.
Well, I'm seeing the tracker showing a green pendant on Meyer and regular pendant on TR, so I'm not sure. We don't have the other pendant mark. We'll have to wait for Audra's map check.
Looks like swamp, I guess, according to.
Oh, that's really gross. That could mean a hover seed, could mean a lot of nasty things. Wow, or this could just be a really fast seed because those are some of the longest dungeons that we have in Swamp, TR, and Meyer. And of course, the all-important, where is the cane? Is it going to show up? And is the big key going to be behind it?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to want the cane given this situation just so you can, ice break ice. But I don't... It may never actually show up.
Okay, so Aldra's finally given up on money for now. Is going to go do the mountain play. Is going to get the mitts. Is not going to be able to do anything in East Death Mountain unless the hookshot decides to show up. I'm a little less concerned about them getting back to Zora than Brogor getting back to the mirror in the front of Escape. Only because, one, Mitt's Darkhold Axis kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, we can tell that Audra's thinking about Zora, is trying to get that Zora money to be able to afford it. And it gets 300 rupees here, and that's going to get them a lot closer. So it definitely has Zora on the mind, and I imagine may not go straight to it once they get the money, but is probably going to get back to it at some point. And of course, again, Mitt's Darkworld is horrible. No one likes Mitt's Darkworld's access is the worst. it just is.
Now I'm kind of expecting maybe Audra peeks into Hera here,
I think you just do it. I think you just try and do it. Now, of course, if the big key is locked by fire, we can't because we don't have a hook shot to break it. But I think if it becomes completable, I think they just do it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Brogor's in Thieves Town. Already has found the small key, which means finishing it is in logic, but also means there's a really good chance that we orphan the. Oh no! Wait, no. Brogor's the one with the hammer. He won't orphan anything. It's just going to do Thieves Town.
Right.
Never mind. That's going to be the issue for Audra.
Brogor is going to be fine with this particular dungeon.
Okay, so that's the small key. Do we get the big key as well, or is the game just gonna tell us no? Nope, we can keep going. This is good. Meanwhile, there's our big key on Brogor's side, exactly. Well, not exactly where you expected, but in the front, as you would expect. The Thieves Town has to be in the first 4.
Got an exceedingly rare actual full heart here in Thieves Town.
Yeah, there's 4 of them in the pool. And of course, will we be leaving an item in Hera? Because that's also a possibility since we already have that small key. There's a good chance we're leaving an item in Hera. Okay, there's a heart piece.
It's all down to what does the boss have?
I mean, even if you did have access to the basement with fire, you might still just not do it. So it just kind of takes the decision out of your hands.
Yeah.
Not a fan of 1.5 heart Moldorm, but Audra's a veteran of this fight, should be fine.
Yeah. With the fighter sword though, it's just like ugh.
Fighter sword
look, if I wanted to play NMG, I'd go play NMG, all right?
I mean, this isn't even NMG because you'd have the boots. And there are boot strats you can use. This is like worse than NMG. Too bad we didn't go get that hammer.
Not even a problem.
Yeah, very nice fight. And it is the compass,
And
so we are leaving an item here. We're going to have to pay attention to Brogor's side a little bit. I do want to know if there's an item in the big chest and what it is.
Yeah.
Audra closer to Zora Money could theoretically do a Houlihan to get to the full amount. Would have to do it with the bomb into the hole.
Yeah. That is how Brogor did it a little while ago.
Is going to just instead go into the Dark World. Which, you know, makes sense here. Might do some of Skullwoods first. Yeah. There's that map check. It was green pendant on Mire. It was pendants also on TR and Swamp. I don't know what it is, but I feel like a lot of these tournament hard modes, I've seen a lot of pendant Mire and pendant TR, and I don't know why that would be.
I think it's because the world hates me. No. So, we did see an item in the big chest. It was just a 20 rupees, but, I mean, that could still be, you know...
It could be relevant.
Audra's mind here in a minute.
It might cause Audra not to want to finish the dungeon, and I don't blame them. That would be, you know, it's not uncommon to say, well, I can't finish the dungeon, therefore... There's a small key in Skullwoods. Once you find an item that's not a small key, I think the drop-down has to have a small key just by sheer numbers. Because yeah, the boss can't have a small key. I guess maybe you have to find 2. There's a certain point where you can just, you know that there has to be a small key down here somewhere, and we get 2 of them. The old pinball room. Going back to its old days where we were guaranteed a small key there. So yeah, we might not see an item at all in front of Skullwoods. It's one of the things I don't like about the Skullwoods play. I kind of like the play when you don't have a hammer, just to try and get that hammer. We know it's not here. The thing I don't like about Skullwoods is even people call it
piece though.
Yeah. People call it like Dark World, and I don't buy that because you have 8 locations and 6 dungeon items. So.
Yeah. It's like a one-off check in the Dark World that's up there. You know what I mean?
And it's really slow. And there's the map, so item in the back.
All right, time to dig for Brogor. Okay, get about half your money back and run away.
Yep. Okay, this could be... Now, Audra has the option of checking Graveyard Ledge. Looks like not going to do that.
All right, time to come over to Mr. J.R. Stumpsman. Just another piece of heart there as well.
I mean, in this mode, you just get used to saying another piece of heart.
I mean, we could just say default drop.
Yeah, there you go. That would work. There we go. There's 100 rupees back in the non item chest in chess games. So now Audra can go do Zora at any time. Probably gonna do some of these other things first. We'll see if they choose to finish Thieves Town. Meanwhile, Hype Cave.
At least nobody's in danger of like trying to dip swamp here.
I mean, Audra could.
I mean, you wouldn't get very far without the hammer.
No, you wouldn't. I mean, I have. There was a crazy race early on in the tournament where First Chest Swamp had a hook shot. And the player that got the hook shot won very handily.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So, I mean, these things can happen. We're gonna go, looks like Pyramid for Brogor. Maybe
like
Pod,
it.
maybe Catfish. And no mirrors, so like a lot of times runners will come here and mirror to do the escape sequence. But that's not gonna happen for Brogor.
Mainly because the mirror is in the escape sequence.
Mirror is there. But more money. Brogor, having already paid off Zora, chooses not to pick it up.
All right.
Yeah, this is going to be Catfish. Okay.
Seems
Audra
like
is going to finish this dungeon, is going to leave an item behind, is not going to know that it's an item they don't need.
Fair enough.
And we'll see if Catfish has anything important for us today. Audra making good use of that powder.
Yeah. So Catfish just defaulting is there, and Brogor not even waiting on it, just piecing right
Save and
out.
quit.
So what are we doing here, Brogor? Not going up.
No, this is Pod and or Eastern, I think. Or it could be, yeah, it could be the bridge.
Bridge having the Bombos medallion. I believe Audra actually got the Quake medallion in Sahasrah's closet. So.
Yeah, I thought they had 2 medallions. Medallions possibly not going to matter at all.
Yeah, who knows?
And of course, the Cane of Samaria, Ice Palace Key Logic going to be a little bit relevant. Actually, the only part that's relevant. Actually, no, it is doubly relevant because Ice Palace could be hookshot locked, leading to a hookshot can't be on the in GT. Could be cane locked. It's a little bit easier to tell because, of course, that just means the small key's on the boss.
Mm-hmm. I think there's one thing that we can all tell about the hook ship, or about Ice Palace, and that is, given the fact that we have Bombos, the fire rod's going to be in there.
Oh, of course. And you hope the cane shows up before you have to do Ice Palace. You just hope the cane shows up. Just the
Accurate.
the cane is a scary item when Turtle Rock and Misery Mire are pendants. It is hard required to have that Cane of Samaria for 5 checks in GT for the big key.
Yep.
Without the hook shot, you can still get everywhere if you know what you're doing. But without the cane. All right, Brogor's gonna get that mirror, so gonna beat Audra to the thing that the runners are missing. I
think Brogor is going to be quite quite happy with this find right here.
Yep. We'll see if he chooses to do the full escape play now.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him bail soon. Yeah, looking like we're going out. It's fine. Oh, well, we're getting the float. Well, okay, never mind. I thought the flute was coming out.
No, if you don't do this now, you're never going to do it. I don't recall anything else here, so...
Right. I don't think Audra went for Dark Cross, though, so that could be a thing.
No, we saw Dark Cross.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yep.
Or, I guess for some value of the word saw, right?
I mean, I forget what it was, but it's probably just a heart piece in that case, you know, because that's usually what it is. And now Audra doesn't have Zora money anymore. Should have picked up that 20. Oh, boy. And it's probably going to do the Smith sequence, which is going to cost another 10 bucks. Also makes me wonder if they're still thinking about the Zora area.
Yeah, you definitely want to see Audra get that Zora check if you're rooting for them.
Now, it's going to be able to do the Smith sequence. Going to be able to grab that purple chest. Oh, hook shot on Smiths is interesting.
Ooh.
Okay. It could lead further away from the hammer, but could also mean hammer go mode, which also gets kind of interesting. We're going to grab the purple chest. We're going to do the magic bat. And then turn in that purple chest. An orphan, hype cave, and etc. for now. So Audra can just do all of Death Mountain now. Still can't do Hera Basement, because we still haven't found any fire.
Other than the Bombos, which is
Right.
only useful for Ice Palace.
Right, for whatever
As we said
reason.
before.
Yeah. Bombos doesn't light lamps. or light torches.
Yeah.
And we now have all 3 medallions for whatever that's worth.
So if Audra somehow needs to get into a medallion locked dungeon, they will be able to do so no matter what.
Yeah, won't be sucked into Turtle Rock here. If the cane shows up, can't get in there without a hammer.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, Brogor's going to do at least Saha and maybe into Easter. So a bow location would be really big right now.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, since we don't have progressive bows, we will not find a bowlock bow in pod. Yeah, actually, that's an interesting question that chat poses. Brogor knows where the myths are. I'm a little surprised he's not just beelining those myths, because that just opens up so many things. Let's see, where does he go next? Is this a flute to 1? It is a flute to 1.
Yeah.
There, okay, just wanted to do Saha first.
So Brogor can also do East Death Mountain here, going the north side.
There's a bottle. And there's money again. So now Audra has Zora money again, and there's nothing else to spend it on. Unless you're going to buy a potion, which I don't see happening. Now the big bomb, but what's our 5-6? Hera and Thieves? Oh, we do have money for that. So with a little more money, could actually do some really nice routing and do big bomb into Catfish, into the Zora area. If we get 20 more rupees.
I'd just be terribly surprised if that didn't come up at some point.
And we're going to see Super Bunny Cave. We don't have the ability. We're going to see the Dark Death Mountain stuff, and then probably a mirror into Spiral Cave. We do not have the ability to do Spike Cave without some sort of potion, and it's not in Logic without Caper Cane anyway.
All right. Well, we got a shovel here in Super Bunny Cave, so another delayed knowledge situation there.
Yeah, that's a little bit better for Audra than for Brogor, because Audra hasn't done Stumpy yet, so you can pair those in together at some point. For Brogor, it's a check left almost all by itself. Hey, nice Master Sword. Brogor would be able to pair it in with
Ice Rod. Okay.
Blue Cave. Now we could do Spike Cave. And, of course, a piece of heart.
You had to ruin the blue streak.
Yeah. But yeah, for Brogor would be able to pair it with K45. We're going to see Floating Island. It is a piece of heart. Audra doesn't care what TR is, because even though it's a pendant, and even though we probably don't want to go in there, knowing what it is would be useful if we didn't have all 3 medallions, and now it's just not useful.
True facts.
But at 610 rupees, Audra could do a route where... no, can't do Big Bomb without the hammer, never mind. Would have to do Aga or some sort of... Yeah, or some sort of bomb dupe. So I don't know that we'll see that.
Yeah. Well, the bomb dupe from the bomb shop going through Lake Hylia is not that hard.
Not bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. And you have the mirror to do it with.
Yeah. It's imperative that you have the mirror. Like, it's not... I think there might be some other ways to do it, but the mirror is the easiest way for sure.
Right. Okay, Brogor has the second crystal. We are all tied up on crystals. Is likely going to head over to East Death Mountain now. Will not be able to get the Hookshot Cave stuff, which means he'll miss the Master Sword. And checking out the Mire area makes a lot of sense. If you get a Fire Sorcerer, you can maybe try and do Desert. Or you can just... And you can go into Desert anyway, just to find out.
I can find out what kind of boots situation you're looking at. You can...
Yep.
And you can, of course, come over here to Checkerboard Cave.
Just 50 rupees, but at this point, Audra doesn't need any more money. Has enough for Zor, has enough for Big Bomb, has enough for all the things left. I guess Pod. Oh, he's going to steal the key. This is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind this play so much in non-key sanity modes.
Right.
If the key is hard locked, if you're hard boots locked by a small key on the torch, then you're fine. And I think you just don't use it if it's a key layout where you can do it with the big key.
Mm-hmm. All right. Moment of truth. What's on the torch? It's garbage.
Complete garbage. We can't complete the dungeon, though, because we don't have fire.
Yep.
And there's only one more item. So the big key is going to be over on the right side. So you just go get it, because you're going to have to go get it at some point anyway. And you hope the other chest is an item. And then maybe... I know, because you can mirror back to the front, so it's probably quick enough to go ahead and check that big chest.
Yeah.
Compass. Okay, so the other item is either in the big chest or it's in... or on Landmo.
Yep.
There's a big key in its vanilla location, where in this case it had to be.
Yeah, they certainly don't let you lock the big key behind the big key in this dungeon.
No.
There are some dungeons where that can happen, but not this one.
And the item is on Landmo.
Gross.
So this will probably be... are we going into Mire?
I mean, looks like it. That
That,
certainly is a play you can
that
make.
is a choice. I mean, if you're looking for a hammer, this is not a bad place to look for it. But unfortunately, the only thing... No, there are things we could find here. A bow could be in here. A fire rod could be... Even a lamp to be able to just do fire things. A boots could be here.
How about vanilla cane?
A cane of Samaria that may or may not be required, but would make your life easier.
Had literal vanilla cane the last race I commentated.
Yeah, I think I saw that. And Brogor, meanwhile, is going to go do probably Smith's here, which will be really good for him because he needs that hook shot.
Mm-hmm. Now that does unfortunately lead us to a situation where you might end up dipping swamp, but who knows? At this point, it might actually be good.
It could.
What with so many things already been checked. If that is true, vanilla locations are the worst. Like, almost by design. Like, because the reason things are there is because you've been sitting here in this dungeon thinking, how am I going to get past all these things? And then you finally find this thing. Oh, look. You know,
the only time the vanilla locations are not the worst in dungeons where you hard require, like, the item. Like, if you think about it, Skull Woods, not a terrible place for the big key, but you got to get that fire rod in a not great place. Which, actually, I mean, it's an easy place if you know how to bomb jump, but, you know, you don't if you're playing casually the first time.
And also, you would have had to get the big key somewhere, so who knows how long that takes, right? Like, if the big key is vanilla and the fire rod is vanilla, that's a pain because you had to go to the middle and then come back.
And of course, the other problem with this dungeon is we don't have... Oh my god, we find a bow, which is going to take Audra even further from going and getting the hammer.
Oh, hello. There's the fire rod at the hammer pegs, too.
Oh, gosh. That's hard. That's also bad. Oh, my.
Oof.
Audra, I don't know when they go back there.
That's a last location for Audra.
I mean, to be fair, those are both horrible locations for each other. Like, I don't know when Brogor goes to do Mire. I don't know when Audra does hammer pegs. And still needs to get the hammer from the Zora ledge just to even be able to do that.
Ugh.
And probably is going to do Pod Eastern next, honestly. Because you have a bow, you can finish Eastern, and you can full clear Pod, except the boss.
Yeah, with that bow, if you're not doing Pod Eastern right now, I don't know what you're doing.
I could clean up Zora beforehand. Is not going to do that yet. Oh, where are we going now?
No, this is Audra's only way into
the right. You have to, to do Pod, you have to go through the Dark World. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Is walking down... Oh, hasn't even done like Hive Cave and stuff, so this will be all those checks into Pod Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Now,
suggestion this could end with Catfish Zora? I don't think so. You either go Catfish Zora or you go Pod Eastern. You don't do both.
Now, of course, I just remembered the deal with open hard mode is that is the only bow.
That is the only bow. So Brogor is going to have to go into Mire to get it, and has a lot of other better places to go. Has a clearable ice palace. Is going to do desert first. Makes sense. But yeah, I would do ice palace first. But I Probably going to get gated at some point. I don't know that I do Mire before Swamp. Swamp has so many items. And what are we still looking for? Are we looking for anything? Are we no mode? We're no mode. No. We're kind of maybe no mode depending on big key location, right?
Yeah.
Like the cane could still decide to be
We
required.
know
The
enough-
boots could still decide to be required.
We know enough items to get into Ganon's tower.
Right.
That's what we know.
Yeah, and I'm not going to make the mistake of saying, even if the cane were to show up, I mean, the boots are still a possibility. We saw a race last night, just last night, where a runner had a several-minute lead until the boots decided to be required, and the big key was on the torch. In this case, I think the cane is more likely to be the culprit, but, I mean...
We are in 72.7%
Yeah,
mode.
right. And now we'll see whether Audra chooses... Oh, are we going to do the bomb dupe?
I mean, that looks like the play
Yeah,
here.
we are going to do some bomb duping. Okay, so we're going to jump down in here, and if we mirror at the exact right time, and then mirror back, the bomb will still be with us. I think that was a little bit early.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that was way too early.
Yeah, it has to be on exactly 0 when you mirror or it doesn't work.
So we're just going to keep going as if we didn't lose the bomb, which is probably fine, because it's not like, I mean, it could be a cane, it could be boots. Yeah, this is going to be Pod Eastern. So we'll get a dungeon clear. We'll get 2 dungeon clears. We'll not be able to kill the boss of Pod. We'll be able to still have Zora money when done. And we keep mentioning the Zora money as if that's required. That's the funny thing is, the Zora money is not required. But Audra wanted to go to Zora. We could tell they wanted to go to Zora, but didn't want to do it until they had enough money for it. And might continue to ignore that location.
Yup. Alright, so we've got a landmo fight for Brogor. This will be a new item. And just not cooperating one bit. I think a single slash does it here.
Yep.
Alright, bomb, or just 20 rupees there for Brogor. And we move right along. Now, if by some miracle Brogor decides to go into Mire here, that could be a pretty big play.
Well, he's going back to the portal, but has he done checkerboard yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so they're going to do checkerboard and probably flute from there.
There's our big key for Eastern. And Brogor has already switched to the flute, and it's getting the heck out of there, so... Gonna be a hot minute.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a full clearable Ice Palace available.
Yeah. I think it looks like Brogor's going for the full clearable Skull Woods here.
Yep, that too, that's right. That Fire Rod hard required for Skull Woods. And Brogor hasn't been in this dungeon at all.
I'm not convinced that's the case. I'm pretty sure he did the front.
Did he? Okay. And a book.
Ooh.
Yay. Thanks, game.
Yeah, a couple of one-off checks that way.
Yeah, nothing you really want to do, and nothing hard required there, unless it's boots or cane for
Yeah,
GT.
so coming in here and has a small key. So yeah,
Okay.
did the front. Didn't do this chest though. So, which we know is the map from Audra's visit. Yeah, you were calling Audra's visit there and saying, I haven't seen this before. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we've seen this before. Maybe I'm making that up.
It happens.
I mean, it's very. I was like, okay, maybe I'm just crazy.
We get to do Eastern in the dark. That's always fun.
Oof. There we go.
I do find this, without a fire rod, this is one of the hardest dark rooms, in my opinion.
I was like, I'm pretty sure Audra shot the wrong one there. Yeah. Ether strats for these Gibdos, always fun.
Yeah, I like using ether on the Gibdos. Fun fact, that is actually, I believe, a Japanese 1.0. I was watching someone play this casually, and the ether did not kill the Gibdos.
Huh. That's interesting.
I would not have guessed.
Well, I guess they just did that to be consistent with Tears of the Kingdom.
There you go. They knew 30 years later.
Because in Tears of the Kingdom, it's fire and lightning that they're weak to, not ice.
Ah, I see. Apologies for any spoilers. And we have
How old
near
is the
simultaneous
randomizer?
crystals.
I mean, I think the project for ALTTP randomizer is like 8 years old or something now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. We did a 5-year anniversary race a few years ago. I want to say that was 2 years ago, which was around 2015, 2016, I'd say, was when the randomizer first started out. And boy, has it evolved from its original version.
Yeah. Some highlights of the earlier version include you had the swords randomized, but you could pick up a lower sword and it would override a better sword, which is great.
Even the when they fixed that, you still had non-progressive swords. If you happened to get a gold sword, you were just done.
Yeah.
You just didn't have to pick up anymore.
Yeah. That's the version I started on, V18.
Yeah, and then there was at one point it was the pendants and crystals weren't randomized, so you just had to do Eastern typically. And at that same point they had a thing where items gotten from NPCs had to be like real items. They couldn't be like arrows and stuff. So you wanted to beeline those. So like visible heart pieces, I think had to stay the same.
Oh yeah. And for a while, the visible heart pieces were randomized, but they looked the same.
Right. Like that, the heart piece sitting on the desert ledge might actually be the heart piece at the dig game, for instance. Okay, meanwhile, we have Audra in pod, Brogor in ice, no Cane of Samaria, so we have to do this the old-fashioned way. This leads to my favorite PSA, which is you still need to know how to do the Ice Palace bomb jump. I did not see what the item was in the first chest, because I guess we have the hook shot, so we don't have to worry about hook shot logging. All we have to worry about is there a small key on Cold Stare. If there is a small key on Cold Stare, then this is cane locked, and the cane will not be in GT. Oh, hi, lamp. Hey, I called a race yesterday where the lamp was exactly there. And
yeah. This is one of the places where that lamp can be. So, yeah.
There are 3 dark chests that the lamp can be in. This one, and the one in these 2, and the one in Dark Cross.
Yeah, Dark Cross. And at least that means that Audra knows that the fire rod is going to be available outside of dark rooms and things. I don't know how much
Yeah,
help
which
that's
doesn't
going to
give.
be.
Yeah, I don't know that gives us that much information. Cape.
I don't think we've even seen the ledge at all. Hey, silvers.
Okay, so interesting points here. Brogor could end up with a go mode, well, a pseudo go mode bow. In fact, should end up with a pseudo go mode bow. Probably doesn't get either the silvers or the lamp, which is actually the silvers maybe seem a little more significant. But if we end up on Master Sword silverless, that is a really rough. You better have a magic extension or be really good at your triples, because you have exactly enough magic, if you don't count the potential to get a couple of free shots at the start of the fight. You have exactly enough magic to do the 24 sword spins that you need to do, with every one of them being a triple.
Yeah,
Because
and I mean,
fire rod, you have 8 fire rod shots, period.
Yeah, you'd have to do the triple thing, and you have to make sure that your fire rod is able to get that torch glitch, and so that's gonna potentially cut into your ability to get free shots on the first one anyway, right?
Oh yeah, yep. You need to get 100% need to get the torch glitch. Now, Audra knows how to do that fight and can do that fight, but will not have to do that fight. Brogor, I have no idea. Now, if I'm Brogor, I go buy a potion.
Go buy a potion, absolutely. You kidding me right now?
Like even that's gonna make it tricky if you're stuck on fire rod. But I mean, unless your confidence to be really high, and I don't know very many people that would even have that kind of thought to do that. Like, even just one mistake is all it takes, and you have to start over. And of course, part of the problem, and starting over means you have to do, you have to go get your magic back. We are going to get a hammer from Audra really soon. Probably does ice next. I don't know when they go back to hammer pegs, though.
Yeah, gonna be a hot minute. Like I said, probably a last location.
Isn't gonna have that much available after this. Like, the Cane hasn't shown up yet, so Turtle Rock not gonna be available. Swamp will be available, so that's. Ugh. I hope you do hammer pegs before Swamp, but man, oh man, there's nothing else there.
So you got Swamp, like Spike Cave, I guess.
Yeah, and of course we're assuming that Brogor will get the Master Sword that's sitting in Hookshot Cave. I can't imagine being on Fighter Sword and not checking Hookshot Cave on your way to GT.
Yeah.
Okay, Outro was about to leave, and then, well, yeah, there was a reason why I came here like this, because I wanted to do Zora, and so he's gonna get that hammer. Now, were you counting items in Pod? Is there an item on Helma?
I haven't the foggiest.
Okay, good. I wasn't the only one not paying attention.
Brogor found the boots on Cold Stare. That's that sure is a thing.
Oh, that's one less GT big key location we have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, that might be better news for Audra. Wait, what? Why?
Takes us back to 77.3% go mode.
Yeah. Brogor going to Sanctuary, going to do the boots checks. But this could get Audra back to hammer pegs sooner, just because it's a much nicer check with boots than it is without.
All right, we're getting some bonk locations taken care of for Brogor. So between the two of these runners, we'll get to see the north side of Dark World.
Meanwhile, Brogor does have a 2 crystal lead, but Neither one of those crystals. Well, ice will take Audra relatively long time. That'll be evened out. Desert is just go in and beat it. And is going to do ice first. This makes sense. So yeah, both our runners leaving their pseudo-go modes in bad locations.
All right, so it looks like Brogor is going to go for the hookshot cave here.
Yep, we'll get a Master Sword out of this, so that's good.
Yep, and to be fair, Brogor might actually go for Spike Cave after this on account of being able to pick up the Cane of Berna here in the...
Yeah, a Spike Cave check here would be really good. It is up to 11 hearts, so we'll be able to do a lot of it without using too much magic. 14 hearts is the minimum I've found that works for checking Spike Cave without magic of some sort.
I think if you're really good and you know how to use the boots properly, you can get it done in like 11.
That would be impressive. I could see 13. You can also, because you can also do a if you bomb yourself. Although I don't know if that works with green mail. With better mails, you could bomb yourself for a little less damage.
Yeah, the bow is in actual mire. It's in the lobby there.
Yeah. Yeah, Audra went in there without a fire source. And looking for hammer. And
I mean,
yes, we have ice without Samaria. Again,
honestly,
PSA, you still need to know how to do this.
Honestly, the vast majority of the races I have commentated have had people having to go into ice without Samaria.
Oh,
and
really?
So, oh yeah.
Interesting.
Like, maybe I'm just a curse.
Maybe it's all your fault.
Like, I don't think it's been every race, but it's been a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. I think this might be Swamp. No, this is Big Bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like to say you still need to know how to do Ice Palace Bomb Jump because you sure don't want to have to do this logically. Every once in a while, the cane will decide not to show up.
Now, if the cane does show up for Brogor or something, say it's here on the big bomb, do you think that points to Mire? Or Turtle Rock, yeah.
Turtle Rock's 5 items, Mire's only 2. And there's still 6 items sitting in Swamp Palace. It's a pick your pendant time is what it is.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like I'd go for Mire just because it's a little quicker.
No, we don't have that choice. I mean, we do have that choice, but we don't have the choice of Turtle Rock.
I feel like this is probably going to be Swamp for Brogor. That just seems like the only reasonable play, which is unfortunate because Swamp is going to be.
It's 5 versus 2, and
isn't it?
You can't even count. You're right. 6 versus 2. You can't count the green pendant in Mire because you can't do it because you don't have a Cane of Samaria. Now, a Cane of Samaria here could make things really interesting.
Now, Brogor has not checked Potter Eastern, but doesn't have the bow either, so wants to avoid doing that if possible.
So yeah, I could see Pod Eastern over Mire as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think doing Swamp here is probably.
I think it's a good call. Yeah, I think it's a good call. It's not the right call. Yeah, it's not the right call, but like those are different things, right? The right call is where the thing is. But you know, when you weigh what your situation is compared to compared to the different locations, the correct play that's going to give you the best chance of getting what you're looking for isn't necessarily the one that is the actual answer.
All right, just a blue rupee in the first chest of swamp here. Since we're really looking for items, I don't expect there to be a skip of left side.
No, I would agree. You might do the back first. You might do the left side first. I personally,
If this was a dungeon you knew you had to clear, you might skip it. But
well, go -1, you go to the back. In a crystal situation, in a pendant situation, I think I personally weigh whether I've seen the big key, have I seen the map compass, because the left side is little less likely to have the thing, but
yeah.
it's maybe a little bit faster to do than get all the way to Argus. Meanwhile, Audra's going to be a little careful. He'll down to 4 hearts, and of course we're on green mail, so cannot take a hit from any cold stairs. Okay, just one more down, one more to go. There we go.
You go.
We'll get boots.
We did find a compass there in the vanilla compass chest, so we'll get to see what Brogor's doing. Going to the back here.
Yeah, I personally, I hate going to the left side without the big key. But again, being a pendant dungeon, if you're not weighing the, now I have to maybe go back in for the big chest in the same way, because maybe the answer's just left side and you're done.
Mm-hmm. Right, we got bombs, we got map.
Okay, I'm just gonna just finish up pod, because they can.
Seems reasonable.
And may do the same thing with desert. If Ultra chooses swamp over hammer pegs, which is a legit choice, in the same way Brogor is it's a little different for Audra because the hammer pegs is a one-off check that you just do quickly and not a full dungeon that you have to clear. But on the other hand, it's a one-off check versus 6.
Right. Well, we also could keep in mind that maybe you'd be a little more inclined to do hammer pegs on account of the fact that you also left Big Chest of Thieves Town behind.
That is true. And maybe you're worried about it because now knowing where it was, your opponent had access to it a lot earlier. And you had access to it a lot earlier. Oh, was there? No. I'm hearing things about a sword, but Brogor got that sword in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. There has thus far not been a sword in swamp.
Nope, but side still unaccounted for.
Brogor is going back in. Now this is the downside with not doing left side. You can't
dive her down.
Dive her down, yeah. You have to do things the old-fashioned way. The fire rod was at the hammer pegs location,
yep,
which is quite an orphan spot for Audra.
Between them, they had access to that very early. Both mitts and hammer were very early available. Each one missed one, which is what led Audra to getting a bow out of Meyer and looking for specifically the hammer, and what has led Brogor to be able to do, because Brogor didn't do smith chain without a hammer, was able to route in the hammer pegs.
I just can't think of a reasonable route you could do that would leave you getting both of those things early. You know what I mean? Like,
if Audra had money, they would have had hammer. As early, it would have had hammer from the beginning. That was the big issue. So that was the route. Prioritize Zora money. Audra's route was priority on Zora money. Yeah.
The only reasonable money though was at the old man, right?
Yep, that's true. Okay. Audra done with pod. May choose to do desert. There's a night. They know there's an item on Landmo, so might as well just clear that up now because has the lamp to do it with, has silvers to do it quickly. Brogor is in left side swamp. And I'm not sure what else they have after this, other than going into Mire.
Yeah, or checking Pod Eastern.
Oh, right, Pod Eastern. How could I forget?
And, of course, the big key is sitting there in the vanilla location.
Well,
so,
I mean, that's just, you gotta kind of expect it at this point.
Brogor was about to go to the mirror and then, never mind.
I mean, we can't actually have the big key be in the big chest, right?
That would just be too easy and too nice.
Too easy, too nice.
And what do we have? It's the cane! Oh,
God. My God. That's a find.
So,
and that
if
could be significant.
If you're a fan of Brogor, you gotta hope for going to Mire here.
I mean, that'd be true with or without that cane, but
true.
If Brogor chooses to go to Pod Eastern instead,
he's
going to go to Mire with that cane. Okay, could have gone to Turtle Rock with that cane.
Yeah, that's real good for Brogor.
Yes, it is.
It's gonna give Brogor a real advantage here. Although, as we know, we might end up in a situation where Brogor has to do Master Sword Silverless Ganon
without a lamp. Is almost certainly going to be silverless. Almost certainly going to be lampless. There's a high probability that there's temper just sitting in GT somewhere though. And that cane also is significant because now Brogor doesn't have to worry about that right side GT check. Yeah, B key was the very first chest of pod, so you don't search the rest of it out. If Audra chooses hammer pegs and such over swamp, I think they're ahead. But if they go into swamp, I think they're behind. And unfortunately, we are having issues with their internet at the moment, so we're not going to see anytime soon what's going on there. There we are, and is in swamp. Okay. Okay, so the good news is Audra can't get sucked into Turtle Rock because no fire rod. Or we could, but I can't imagine you do that without a fire rod. Is going to get that cane of Samaria, but is going to be way behind. Yeah, Bombos, Ether, Spike Cave, Hammer Pegs, Thieves, Big Chest. And Pyramid Fairy, yeah. So a lot of kind of all over the place one-offs.
Is Brogor going for the boss right now? Is that what's happening?
It sure looks that way. In a pendant situation, I disagree with this. Right? If this is a crystal situation, yeah, go kill the boss, and if you're still missing your items, by all means, go back in. But especially in a dungeon like Misery Mire, where there's a very high chance of having a small key on the boss here.
Yeah, so I got a phone call in the middle of that. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Getting a new dishwasher delivered.
Oh, that's fun. And Brogor is not looking for a lamp on the boss. The lamp cannot be on. There are no torches in the basement of Misery Mire, so we cannot get to the boss logically without a lamp. It's kind of fun when you get a lamp on Armos Nights. I've had that happen.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that is technically, that makes what you said earlier technically correct. There's still only 3 chests it could be in the dark, because that's not a dark. That room is not dark, but there's dark rooms on the way.
Right.
I was like, Wait a minute.
Also, making a good point. The equipment kind of sucks for Vidi, so why would you want to even consider fighting this if you don't have to?
Brogor went in for the, you know, ridiculous strats there, and does not have the bow, so having to go for hammer.
I mean, I'll bet you this is a small key.
I mean, odds are.
See? Small key on Vidi. Never seen that before. I mean, it is green pendant, but again, like you're not gonna go turn in the green pendant and come back.
No.
I can't see that.
If you Brogor, if you leave, I'm disowning you.
I mean,
Okay.
if you're trying to make that Canis Samaria you got matter, you go to Turtle Rock. You don't go to Vidi.
Yeah.
And Audra's gonna get the news that there's nothing here unless you go back in and get a Canis Samaria.
And a silver arrow to the eyeball, like you do.
And does Audra go back in?
Maybe.
I mean, might be hard required to go back in. Might be a time save if you don't. Yep, is going back in. I mean, it makes sense. You're looking for your item in the worst place you can think of because you feel behind. Unfortunately for Audra, the only thing here is Canis Samaria, which again may or may not matter. And Brogor is about to get his bow, put himself in go mode.
If Audra follows the cane, though, that's going to be a problem.
Well, they've already gotten an item out of Meyer, so I don't imagine going back there, and I don't imagine going to Turtle Rock when it's the Fire Rod room missing, because if it's not there, you're probably getting kicked out almost immediately, and that's a long way to go. Unfortunately, there's other awful checks to go do as well, because you have Pyramid Fairy, which we know is nothing. You have
tablet checks
for that book that you got in your first dip in Pod Eastern. I forget which one it was in.
I believe it's the Eastern Big Chest.
So you have a lot of awful locations.
All right, so Brogor is headed for Pod. I do not expect there to be a lot of Pod. I do not expect there to be a lot of Eastern. Brogor might end up picking up the book, just because you've got to pick up the big key.
Right, that's on path.
Those two chests are kind of on the way.
Yeah, I would totally check. I would totally check all the on path chests, but I think for Pod it's going to be you get your big key, go down the right side, and go straight to the back and never come back. And for Eastern, it's going to be you'll do everything but big key. Actually, I don't know where the big key is, because you can skip.
It's in the hookshot room.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna do everything but, or you can choose to do everything but big key chests, and you're not doing big key chests in this situation. So Brogor is gonna miss silvers, is gonna miss the lamp.
Yeah.
Which again, double significance, is gonna have to do a lampless torch glitch, and if we don't run into a master sword, that becomes really significant.
So Brogor is kind of aware of the situation. Then they're going to need to check the or they're going to need to pick up a potion or something before they head up the mountain.
He had a potion going into Meyer, so I imagine he'll get another one. Yeah. Okay, this will be Bombo's tablet. You're right here. This makes sense. just bombs. Of course, we know there's nothing more that we can find.
All right, so Audra doing the save and quit, going to Sank here.
Yeah, this will be boots checks.
Yep. Now we know it's just money and a piece of heart, but what happens after that? What do you think?
It kind of routes naturally into hammer pegs and Thieves Town Big Chest, but there's also Pyramid Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
So it could just be a save and quit out of Bonk Rock.
I feel like if you were going to save and quit, you go to Bonk Rocks first and then save and quit at the end of King's Tomb.
Also reasonable. If Audra does go for the Bonk Rocks here, sorry, not the Bonk Rocks. Or you just flute. If this is a flute 3, this is a race because Brogor still needs to do.
Oh no!
This could still just be Spike Cave.
Yeah, well, that and Ether Tablet.
Yeah, Ether Tablet's not a bad choice.
Could also be Basement of Hera.
Oh, that's an awful idea. All right, Hera does have an item.
Wait, no, you wouldn't go for Basement of Hera.
Why not?
Because we found the lamp in darkness.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, let's hope Audra remembers that. Remember how we were saying that wasn't very significant? Yeah, it actually, that is significant. But I don't think you go into TR here. I think you would do either Pyramid Fairy or Peg's Thieves Big Chest. Or not. Okay, we're going into Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock. I mean, at least if if the fire rod's not there, you're likely to get locked out early.
Yep.
So it's not that long a check.
A lamp and the silvers could still keep Audra in this if you get kicked out very quickly.
Yeah. Believe it or not, this is much closer than it looks, because Skull Woods is a very quick dungeon.
Yeah, Skull Woods takes like a few seconds. It's not long.
Alright, Brogor has the big key to Eastern and will be heading for the boss.
So we need this to not be a small key. And frankly, it's only really bad if this is a small key and Chain Chomps is a small key.
Alright, first chest in
Okay,
Turtle Rock.
We're going to go a little bit further.
Gross. How mean does Turtle Rock want to be to Ardra?
Yeah, of significance, yeah. There is actually one item that Audra could find that would be a huge advantage potentially, and that would be a sword.
Mm-hmm.
If they happen to find that. Because that would mean one less sword available for Brogor, and that much more likely that it's Master Sword Silverless. But it's the big key, and we're done.
So we're out of here. So what else?
And now we spike. Yeah, this is Spike Cave.
Spike Cave for Audra.
And then it's Pegs and Thieves Big Chest versus Pyramid Fairy. And having already failed Pyramid Fairy once, and knowing Audra a little bit, I think it would be go to Pegs Big Chest. But that is not by any means a for sure.
All right, Brogor has picked up the 7th crystal, so for those of you who like guessing where that big key is going to be, it might be that time. There's 22 possible locations for it. And in come the numbers.
Yeah, and this is Pyramid Fairy. Nope, wait, fluted out. This is not Pyramid Fairy. This is where you would start for Pyramid Fairy. But if you're fluting away, you're not doing that. This is going to be Hammer Pegs. And turning in the green pendant for good measure. I like that from Brogor.
Sure. I mean, could be a sword. Is going to go ahead and get that potion.
Yeah,
you
have to get this potion.
All right, so Audra is headed south into Village of Outcasts. Yeah, gonna go for the Hammer Pigs first because it is a significantly quicker check. And there we go. Audra has located the fire rod.
There is the fire rod.
It's into the go modes.
So yeah, we'll see what's going on, what happens with the big key routing. I know Audra has all sorts of weird ways of routing GT, and we'll do different things based on what keys they find and how behind they feel, and they're gonna feel behind. Like,
correct.
Basically, last location, the hammer. I'm trying to think if there was anything else available, and hard last location, the fire rod. And very smart, mirroring to grab this magic refill. I have no idea what Brogor's big key routing style is. I know for me personally, if I find the cane in a really bad spot, I'm going right side first to try and make that cane matter, in hopes that my opponent miss that cane. Because if you route this seed normally, and you get the hammer and mitts on time, like you kind of should, you're not getting that cane of Samaria. So, if I'm either runner, I'm saying, well, I want my big key to be on the right side. On the other hand, if they're watching the race room, although I know Audra tends not to watch the race room and don't see a finish, then they may think otherwise.
All right, Brogor into left side here.
I would say this is within a combination of big key routing and silvers in a master sword fight, but if we see tempered sword, I don't see Brogor giving this up. But we'll see. If we find him. Oh, there's tempered sword, so both runners are going to be on tempered. Most likely. Audra typically does Hope Room first. Okay. Moth is down, and Audra gonna head up to GT. Meanwhile, what are we at? 7 for Big Key? And Audra's one of those players that if they feel behind, would do Tile Room. Just pointing that out. There's our last sword. So both extra swords were in GT. The green 20 reserved exclusively for the sword in this mode. Which is nice because now you know, like Brogor knows now that Audra doesn't have tempered sword going into GT. Can't have gotten the tempered sword earlier. So this will be 12, I think. Chad asking, is there a health cap? No, but it takes longer to get to wherever you're at because there are 48 pieces of heart to get there.
You.
I find kind of weird on the hard mode. I've often said I like the SG Live hard mode they used. I kind of like that better just because you have enough pieces of heart and heart containers to give you 14 hearts, with most of them being pieces. And anytime you skip a piece of heart, you're gonna be one less heart than your opponent. Or one less heart than you could have. I shouldn't say than your opponent, because your opponent probably skips it too.
All right, so many checks already done here. Still no big key.
Odds are gonna go left side first, which probably means mirror into full right for them, which could catch him up a little bit. But it's not going to be enough, it looks like, given that Brogor's already about to hit Ice Armos.
And going down into Ice Armos. Unfortunately, no silvers here,
no
so that's
silvers for
going to
Brogor.
take quite a few arrows here.
And we'll see if Audra decides to do tile room. It would not surprise me here. That is choosing not to, which is probably good. Yeah, it is good.
Literal, actual vanilla.
Literally, as just running through the tile room, we find the big key.
All right, so Brogor on the way up.
Also of note, we didn't need to go into swamp at all.
Yup.
That Cane of Samaria led to nothing.
I believe that was check number 19 on Brogor's side.
Right, because there would have been 3 left with tile room in the other 2 chests. Oh, and now we're going to get tile room.
Wow, that's...
At this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
at this point, it doesn't matter, because, I mean, Brogor's just ahead. With the silvers are not going to make up enough time with Tempered Sword having been found.
Yeah.
With this would still be potentially a game losing play if Brogor was still on Master Sword. On the other hand, had the big key been here, potentially would have been a game-winning play. And when you're behind, I can see making these decisions.
We're doing a real quick refill on the ferry there, and also setting up the land modes all spawn simultaneously for a quick spin there.
Yeah, I saw during this tournament, I forget who did it, so I apologize for not being able to shout the person out. But I did see a really neat strat that Brogor was trying to replicate there, where you lay down a Samaria block, and you just do a double sword spin, and it just immediately kills the land modes. It's really, really cool. So a little sad that didn't work. Yeah, just to recap a little bit, though, for everybody that may have been late. The race started out, we had Mitts on Spec Rock, showing up on Spec Rock, with a mirror at the Uncle, and we had a hammer at the Zora Ledge. Brogor got the hammer, having done a Houlihan and getting the money for it, Not that you had to pay for that location, but that he wanted to be able to do all the stuff at once and not leave Zora behind. Audra, on the other hand, got the mirror relatively early, but didn't have the money for Zora and just refused to go there until they had the money for Zora. And unfortunately, that led to I'm not 100% sure if it was last location, but if it wasn't, it was close to last location hammer. And then there was the next part of the chain was a bow sitting in Misery Mire and a fire rod in hammer pegs. Audra missed the hammer because did Smith chain without the hammer. And Brogor just, had no good reason to go into Mire. Audra had gone into Mire looking for the hammer, found a bow instead. Brogor got back to Mire a little bit sooner at the end. Audra, I believe, only left Pyramid Ferry and Thieves Town Big Chest when they found the fire rod in hammer pegs.
All right, so Brogor now headed for the boss here, about to get to Aga 2.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that right as Audra's starting the climb. So for Audra of note, that was 20, not 19, because tile room. But honestly, probably their best chance of winning at the point that they entered GT was spiking a tile room big key. So not a bad decision to do so. Just instead end up putting them further behind.
All right, Aga 2 down, and Brogor is on to the final fight here. And we enter the Ganon fight. We've got 12 hits per phase here, with a spin counting as double. And then we move on to phase 3 for just 1 hit per move, and then another 12 spins to finish it off.
Okay. Yeah, good thing we have all these hearts, because Brooker did take a couple of hits there. And suddenly down 8 hearts, but fortunately still has 9.
And of course, we've got that backup potion we brought just in case we had to be on.
Yeah. I mean, Brogor had to buy that. You can't. You just can't. If you have another option, you really can't go into a Ganon fight with Master Sword, no lamp, no silvers, and not have a potion ready if you can have it. Oh, the potion was used. Well, it doesn't matter at this point. Should be fine anyway. But yeah, you had to buy that potion. I was able to freely use it, I suppose, because did find that tempered sword. Apparently, Brogor went and grabbed a fairy, too.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did see that on the way up. So the only disaster that could really occur is like an actual fall here.
Yeah, I mean, you can take like 3... You can take 2 hits before dying with 9 hearts anyway, so then you'd have 1 hit you could take with the fairy, so essentially you could take 4 hits. And I don't see very many people taking 4 hits at this stage of the Ganon fight. The place you're going to take hits is, of course, phase 2. And there it is.
Mm-hmm. Brogor finishing it off.
And is going to finish up crossing that bridge with an official race time of 1:38:15. GG's to Brogor. Game 2, same time tomorrow.
All right. Tracy, would you mind
slower.
terribly handling the interviews here? The delivery guy just arrived.
Okay, go get your dishwasher, I think it was.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I might come back soon, but yeah. All right. Thank you.
I am very amused by the still slower on the screen right now. Yeah, we did a lot of slow things today. We do have Brogor joining us in the chat. How are you doing, Brogor? GG's.
Hello. Yeah, I'm a bit exhausted. Actually.
Yeah, and it turned out you both full cleared swamp for nothing. I mean, Kane is nice to
Yeah,
have, but the big key was not behind it.
I was like, I had in the round robin stage against Dixon, I had probably like a bit like the same seed where I was like in GT with 7 crystals, obviously. Dixon having a Somaria, still looking for other stuff, and Somaria being required. So after
Yeah.
Somaria not showing up on, after Vicky not showing up on the right side, I started to be like, turn around again, maybe.
Yep.
So I was pretty shaky there in the end. And, yeah, I mean,
Also,
I had a mindset that audraxys maybe has not been able to pay Zora and thus not having a fire rod. And I think I already heard you say
yeah,
that.
that is exactly what happened. Did not
Yeah.
go to Zora because did not have the money. Therefore, was very late to the hammer, and then near last location, the fire rod at Hammer Pigs, having already done the smith chain without the hammer.
Yeah,
So.
I always have that little scenario.
There are other details because, like, you know, if Audra had skipped swamp, did a bit of a mountain check, did a little dip into Turtle Rock, so there were other little things.
Yeah. Well, after finding that mirror, I was pretty scared, right? So I just already did all that overworld and mirror just being here. So, but with Midstand later and Hookshot and Fire Rod back to back, I was like, okay, this could be a good thing if they start Ungle. But until then, I felt bad. So yeah. But then I started to feel a bit more comfortable again. Yeah. And then Somaria on left side. Oh no, and Swamp Big Chest felt, do I do Turtle Rock now? I will also commit to a late Spy Cave plus Terra Basement, and I have no lamp. Most of the items are in the bag, probably not even in Logic. And then I kind of lost concentration and went immediately to Vitrios. Like, what the hell am I doing here? Why? I have no.
Yeah,
I
we
have
were
no.
wondering about the Vitrius
Yeah.
play, like.
I was like,
and it was a small key, and I was like, it's probably just a
Yeah,
small key.
yeah.
And sure enough, it was a small key.
Yeah, it was a small key. So okay, maybe it's logically locked behind Vitrios, so the Somaria is at least logically required, right?
Yeah. I mean, it could
No.
happen. But
I mean,
yeah,
hey,
there
you
go.
got the that. I'm assuming that's why you went out of the way to go turn in the green pendant, right?
Yeah. I wanted to be like that. Okay, if there's at least a start now, or maybe in best case silver arrows, that would be like at least some time regain. But with my mindset, I was like, just maybe, audraxys went to Turtle Rock play. So.
That was kind of the final nail, was the Turtle Rock play. Audra finishing up with an official race time of 1:41.27 and is joining us now. GG's.
GG's.
That was so interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I assume we're for different go mode items at the end.
Fire Rod versus bow, yes.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. That was interesting.
Does that mean, did you rush Viddy?
Yeah, I rushed Viddy and skipped the bow for 2 or 3 more minutes.
Okay, I was like really trying to figure out why you had Meyer finished.
Yeah, I was like, Somaria now, it's so late, and I was late to the mirror, and it only showed, I don't know if you heard, I already said it only showed to me that maybe you did start Uncle, and then maybe no fire rod for a very, very long time. That was like a little bit clinging to that, so.
Oh, yeah, I didn't consider that you would be late to the mirror. I just knew I was late to the hammer. I meant to do the mountain before. I meant to do Zora before the mountain, and I forgot. I realized as soon as I was up there, but I saw the mitts, and I was just like, okay, well, the hammer's probably not at Zora, right? So, like, if it's giving me Darkhold access, so I'll just try and like route it in with Catfish as efficiently as possible later. And that works out really poorly.
I can relate, yeah.
And I was like, really, were you like leaning on the cane to be your out? Because I was.
Yeah, I was like, maybe that's why I rushed Vitrios there. And I had the same thing with the mirror, right? I said, so I will get the mirror now in the Dark World, so I can clear up Hyrule Castle, because if Audraxys did that early, they have also maybe a Fulky at the front, maybe because we had bomb drops in the tier 1 triple. So I was a bit scared of Hyrule Castle, and obviously a mirror is there, right? So you cannot even mirror from the pyramid.
Right.
So, Audraxys, I have to commend you on one very specific small play that not everybody would have picked up. And that was when you were finally going up to the mountain to check like Turtle Rock and the
Yep.
silly book
Yeah,
location.
Dr. Bob had to remind me.
Yeah, that you we were like, oh, the basement of Hera hasn't been checked, but no, you wouldn't do that because you found the lamp in the dark and you're looking for fire rod.
Yeah,
So,
I was very thankful for that information.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like at the end, I was just like, when I got the cane, I was just like, okay, I think we want to check Turtle Rock, but it's not that long if I get locked out, right? So, I can maybe have afforded to have missed Fire Rod in an easier overworld location, and the cane can be my out. So I was leaning pretty hard on that. And then also like, that also told me that it wasn't the one item that I left in Mire.
Mm-hmm.
I never had the lamp, so I
Right. I mean, yeah,
grab
because
that logic.
because everything that you didn't do in Mire was fire locked. So
Yeah, and pod was entirely bow locked, though not doing pod at all. Like you missed Silvers and Lamp. You kind of missed that. Oh, that info is not useful to you, I guess.
Yeah.
I also wanted.
Ganon told me 50% of that, right?
I also wanted to applaud Brogor there for your awareness that once you beat Eastern, there you were like, okay, I need to get a potion here, just in case I don't get the tempered sword, because having no lamp and no silvers and master sword would have been very difficult to pull off
that's a very hard
final phase there.
Yeah, I mean, if you miss the torch glitch, then it's disgusting. But usually there's like those visual cue when the last little tile and the fourth thunderclap of Ganon, if this drops and you just are positioned in the very top left and fire rod shut down, then you should always get it, I guess. That's what I do usually.
Yeah, it's just
then
a tough
fight. You still have to get a
yeah,
triple on
every
that
time.
phase, so it's just like...
You have to get every triple. Because you only have 8 shots. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Luckily, tempered sword came...
Well, we had both swords in GT basement. Like that was the one thing that could have bailed you out, Audra, was the when you did Turtle Rock. If that had been a sword in that chest, that might have helped you out a little bit.
Yeah, it was a bit unlucky that was a key leading to nothing, because you could have just wasted less of my time.
Yep, sure could have. Unfortunately, the game doesn't like to do that, right?
I could have also like. I don't know if there was a world where I rush hammer pigs earlier, but I'm also thinking that, like, even if I did go to Zora at the correct time and I got the hammer, I probably missed the bow, and then we're just in the same situation.
That's true.
So yeah, I don't know.
I think this was like a helix, right? One player goes left, one player goes right, and it's not
they
gonna
both
be
have
the same
things.
route somehow.
Well, I think at the very least we can say with almost certainty, or maybe actual certainty, this will not be what you get next time.
No,
or
it is
probably the
actual.
time after that.
I think it can come up in game 3. I'm not sure how that works, but I know it can't come up in game 2 because you're both going to have 2 cards out. And so that's all 4, and it won't be open.
I think we have FAD out, and this is out now, right?
It can come in game 3, it's just really unlikely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think this was unlikely to come out in this game. I think he had 1 card for it between
Yeah,
the 2.
Yeah, it was kind of
Audraxys
crazy.
was like,
really? You kind of can
card?
ignore the 1 card, right?
The 1 card? Really?
I mean, I like this mode. I think my chances are good in it, so I was happy to get it over some of the other ones, but yeah. It was like scary too, like once I checked Darkworld map and I was like, oh, this is a jet seed, and this is like probably going to be a weird hammer go mode, and I want to not miss the jet, and yeah, some of my decisions were based on that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean, I just started with the gloves, obviously, and then I went to the forest, and getting the sword there, I immediately climbed the mountain.
Yeah, that was. In fact, it was suggested that one could do that, and then and I'm like, no, you're not going to do that without at least something to see off. And then you go find a sword, and I'm like, Well, he could. I don't know if anyone would. And I think Dr. Bob said, I think Brogor might. You did.
So having seen that mid's kind of made me last look at that mirror even more.
All right.
So
well, that
we're not gonna get hard for game 2 as already discussed. What do y'all want for game 2?
I don't know.
I want to win.
That's fair.
That's a good answer. I guess me too. Another one.
well, only one of you can get that. So
Yeah.
Well,
So
someone will get it.
I take the no lose.
I've had horrible luck with MC Boss this year. I don't know
Yeah.
why, because it's like it should be the same as last year, but the seeds for it this year have been so much worse.
Yeah, MC Boss is like can be rude, can be amazing. So
I was pretty confident in that mid last year. I felt like I knew what I was doing, and this year I'm just like last location everything in it. I don't understand why.
Yeah,
it's math.
I can't explain it.
Math.
Yep.
all right. Well, thank you both for your excellent runs here. It was a heck of a race, like right down to that very last plays that were made there. Pretty much anybody's game up until that point.
Yep.
It's down to the wire. We still not finished.
Exactly.
Anyway, but yeah, I want to thank you both, and of course, anything else either one of you wants to add before we go ahead and close it out?
No, just see you tomorrow, same time, I guess, in case we have
same time, maybe same channel. We'll see.
Obviously, thanks to everyone.
And major shout outs to our emergency tracker Pichu Tenyu for jumping in at the last second to keep track of things for us.
Yeah, there's a reason I call the trackers the MVPs, and Pichu definitely lived up to that today. But yeah, basically gonna do it for us. Audra, Brogor, thank you again. Dr. Bob, always a pleasure to do commentary with you.
Thank you very much. Same to you. And I'll just say I will see you all at a later occasion. Night, everybody.
Yeah. Everyone have a good rest of your day or evening or whatever. See you later.